So, Paul, another IT professional that I've worked with in the past said that his objective and his hope is that we could get our data center systems to consumer levels of ease of use.
Right.
What are your feelings and thoughts around that?
Yeah, I think we have to aim in that direction. If I look inside the data center, we're still managing sand, wet string, and rotating rust.
Right.
The focus has hardly shifted.
Right.
And we really, really have to move away from managing those piece parts
Right.
to treating the data center as basically the data center or the set of data centers, your infrastructure is a system on which you're running the business. Right. Mm-hmm. And you want to manage the business based on service level objectives for the business. Right. And to have that shift, I think we have to hide a lot of this complexity. It means right. knowing and understanding the relationships. Right. It means automating processes all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And in many ways, you're doing it through having smart people manage the environment. Right. And you're using whatever technologies you can to help simplify it as well. Yeah. But we need to get to a point where the IT systems themselves can be invisible. You're making it invisible to the users and to the developers, but at some point, because the infrastructure is going to get so large and so complex in those interrelationships that you're talking about, that these things have to, in of themselves, become much easier.
And the challenge is, when you have all this complexity, we also have to be agile at the same time.
Right.
So, the business demands that we deploy new services. We could deal with complexity in the past by letting it ossify, by, just creating more or less static environment. And operations always has that tendency to do it because it's about risk reduction.
That's right.
So there's this permanent tension between the desire of the business for both stability and availability and consistency, and then the desire to be able to turn on a dime, to be able to bring a new service to market really, really quickly, to be able to scale up and down incredibly rapidly. Exactly. So this incredible pace of change, very, very hard. Right. And I think to be able to accommodate all of that, we have to have the tooling that hides the complexity, presents the right things to the user, automates a whole bunch of things. We just have to get there.
In many ways, the IT is risk averse, and the business is risk averse in many ways, and so sometimes we are a little bit more conservative. As technologists, we want to implement the new, shiny, and interesting technology, but as business people, we realize that there's always risk associated with that.
Yes.
However, at the same time, if you want to keep ahead of the market and you want to grow your business, there are risks and innovations that you have to consider and seriously adopt as a part of your operations.
Yes, there's an opportunity cost. If you don't take the opportunity that some of these technologies present, you will be left behind.
Right. You made a comment about rusty spinning devices that we're still working with. In many ways, we have innovated. In many ways, we're still using the same old technology. So we have to find that balance of saying, okay, well, how do we implement innovation while at the same time mitigating that risk part of it? And that's the balance that I think that a lot of companies find very hard to come to.
Yeah.